I wanted to show you guys the garlic field if you haven't seen it already. Obviously, this looks like nothing. It's just a dirt field. Here is actually a toe that we dropped. So from your bulb of garlic, you'd break your toes out of that bulb. And right here is one of them. And if you can actually see that, which you probably can't, it's starting to sprout just a hair. And so I just wanted to dig in the dirt here for a second and try and show you or see if the garlic is sprouting at all. It should be right here somewhere. Right there it is. Okay. So like I said before, well, no, I guess I lied. Oh, so there we go. Right here is a bulb of garlic that we planted. And actually it's already starting to root. And I'm gonna pull it out just so I can show you for demonstration purposes, but it's like honestly hard to get out of there. Look at that. So you'll have to go back and look what day we planted the garlic, but this garlic that we planted was just like that toe I showed you, had no roots on it whatsoever. And now look at it. It's got like probably 3 inches of roots on there, bright white, beautiful, and it's on its way to growing. And this is exactly what you want. You want it to set its roots in there so that it can make it through winter, but yet you don't really want that green sprout coming at the top for the frost just to kill it before, you know, it gets too cold. And so I'm gonna try and put this back in here. I doubt it's gonna go very well, like growing wise, but yeah, might as well try it. It's a $3 bulb of garlic probably. And so honestly, if you haven't put your garlic in the ground yet, or if you were like tossing it around and thought, I don't know if I should, and now you're like, well, maybe I want to, but it's too late. It's not too late. You're definitely borderline, but I would definitely try it because we still have some like 50, 60 degree days coming up, and that's gonna be enough to get that to shoot its roots into the ground and get established before the hard winter really starts. So it's the next day here at the farm market. So obviously this is the cooler. Last night at around 8 o'clock, myself, my buddy Trevor, my cousin Brandon, and my dad all came out and we lifted this unit up on top of the cooler, which is gonna then get bolted down. I'll try and climb up this ladder here so you can see. We have it on 2x6s. I don't really know exactly how this is gonna work, but that's not exactly my job. And then in here, I just brought the Milwaukee tower light in so we can actually see what's going on. But there's gonna be another unit in here that's gonna have fans, that's gonna circulate the air in here, that's gonna get bolted right here. Like I said, this was used, so there's already pre-existing holes, or at least I think they're the holes that are gonna be used. Then these holes are where the tubing is gonna go out, like the drains and stuff like that. And then yesterday what we worked on was putting these angle irons in so that this wall is even sturdier than what it already was. Our next task, what we're working on today, is gonna be getting the electrical hopefully up and running, or at least pretty close. But this right here, electrical, is our biggest problem at the moment. And the reason for that is this right here is kind of like heat wires, I guess you would say. And when the cooler is running, these are on, making sure that doesn't frost up, not allowing you to open and close your door, because when ice gets behind something and it expands, or water, I guess you should say, and the water freezes and expands, that's gonna create too tight of a seal for the door and it's gonna get stuck. And so we gotta make sure this is working properly, because if not, obviously we're not gonna be able to open the door. The reason why it's not working is because of right here. The previous owners just had, where is it, right here, this threshold just siliconed on there. It wasn't screwed down, it wasn't, you know, fastened securely. And what was happening was this was rubbing on here. And every time somebody walked in, stepped on it, the door closed, it was rubbing, until eventually broke the wire. And so now we gotta get this fixed so that way we have no issues. And so that's what I'm basically gonna be helping with today. Like I said, I am no expert in refrigeration whatsoever, but it's kind of like a learning process for me because the guy who is working on it is basically kind of like an expert. And so he's just walking me through everything. And so yesterday, we not only got those angle irons in, but we got diamond plate here on the outside, again, securing that even better. We actually moved the freezer because right here is our cooler, and they had like an 1.5 inch gap, maybe 2 inches. And so we moved that closer, that way it's almost completely tight. Obviously this cooler here is a little bit out of square, and so you can see we have a little bit of a gap there, but we don't want rodents and leaves going in there, so we got that as tight as possible. We ripped the drain off of the cooler, that way we could get it close enough, so now we have to rerun that out of the cooler. So we'll have a drain coming out here and a drain coming out right here. Over here is the other unit, and I'm not even quite sure what the names of these things are, but this is what's gonna go inside of the cooler. There's the fans. And like I said, you can see how almost brand new this thing looks. The cooler, or freezer, is almost the same. And even the unit up there is obviously a little bit dinged up, but it looks very good as well. We started out at our farm market with one deep freezer, and then we got a second one, and now we have like our deli case, and we have our ice cream cooler, and then we have a freezer and a fridge inside. So like we're slowly upgrading over the years. But now what happened was our first deep freeze, which is this guy right here, and it's obviously very big, died. Like literally 3 days ago, just died. So we had to get everything emptied out into other freezers, and now that's where we really want to get this thing up and running so that we can have way more space than what we even need. Like eventually, once this is up and running, we're gonna put shelves down this side, shelves down this side, probably one along the back side, and then it'll be nice. We can walk in here, get our pies, get our muffins, get whatever the heck we need, and it'll be so much better than a deep freeze. I'm gonna take a quick walk in the market and I'll show you what's going on in there. So to start off, on the front porch, we still have some pumpkins left, but basically we're done with them now at this point. We discounted them from like $2, 3 for $5, to $1 each. Bagged corn here. Over here is stackers. They were 6, now they're 2. And all pumpkins are the same, $2. Over here is blue and orange Hubbard. Then we have our ornamentals. More pumpkins. And then over here is some butternut and spaghetti. We've had a lot going on, but usually by this point, we already have some Christmas trees, swags, all that kind of stuff. Hopefully within the next couple days, we'll have some here for sale, but we just gotta get the time. So then in the store, as soon as you walk in, you'll see our grab and go table right at the register, which has candy cakes, cookies, muffins, and other baked goods. There is even like a platter of assortments of all, you know, goodies that Jill's making up. And then over here, just like in the summertime, is our fresh baked bread, you know, some cheese doodles, cheese puffs. Over here we have fresh honey. It's all honey related items. We have jarred honey, honeycomb, bee pollen, maple syrup there. Then over here, which usually has fresh veggies, but we don't have them anymore, is just more assorted chips and Christmassy items, more cheese doodles, chocolates, stuff like that. And then you come over here to where one of our workers makes handmade arts and crafts, decorations, stuff like that. Obviously we have the sign, follow us on Facebook and YouTube. Definitely subscribe if you haven't already. And then we come over here to our chip rack, which is where everybody comes usually once they get a hoagie. And then we move into our jarred goods. I definitely cannot name everything that is here, but hopefully I'm gonna try and go slow. You can read what we have and what looks good to you. I'm really trying to work on getting some of these up on our website. That way you can purchase these and I can ship them to your house. If that's something you're interested in, definitely leave a comment down below. And if I don't get it up on the website fast enough and you want something like this, even to give to one of your relatives for Christmas, message us on Facebook, Broyans Farm. I can try and work with you. You know, we can work on the shipping and I can get that to you if that's something you're possibly interested in. Because as you can see, we have a ton of variety here. Then on the back side of that first table, we have hot chocolate mix, lollipops, chocolate covered pretzels, and just other, like I said, Christmas items that are good stocking stuffers, good gifts, whatever you want to do with them. And then here on this little shelf, we have more dressings, barbecue sauces, peach cider, raspberry cider, stuff like that. Then we move into like actual apple cider, canola oil, hot sauces, steak sauce, and more barbecue sauce. This barbecue sauce is actually one of my favorites. Over here on the main counter is just some of the pie orders that Jill Cindy, my mom, Josh, basically the whole crew has been working on. I wanted to show you, these are pretty cool. These wooden boxes with these stamped designs in them. Then you open them up and there is the Oz Den honey in them. This is not our honey, but it is local honey, I'm pretty sure. And there's tea, there's honey, depends on what box you want to get. And, oh, I can't get it out of here, but take my word for it, they're pretty cool. Tell me this pumpkin pie doesn't look delicious. So this is all the different varieties that Jill is making. There's lemon sponge, there's apple crumb, there's cherry crumb, there's pumpkin, there's just regular apple, and I think I'm missing one, but I can't remember. Either way, you can't go wrong with any of them. And then on the other two tables, the little bit of fruits, veggies, and squash that we have is some kale, all sorts of varieties of apples, Gala, Honeycrisp, Evercrisp, and then we have sweet potatoes, acorn, spaghetti, butternut, cabbage. This is the last cauliflower for the season. We have some broccoli, Brussels sprouts, again is the end. Quite a bit of garlic. We're getting more tomatoes in today, a couple peppers, zucchini, cucumbers, and bags of potatoes. Okay, so Frank just left. It actually doesn't look like we got a lot done, but we did get the electrical heat wire, I'll call it, fixed around here. Like you can actually put your hand on here now and it's warm. Got the threshold in, so you can step on that now. I'm not sure what you call that, but we got that unit hung. Obviously nothing is run or wired, anything like that. And so we're definitely making progress, which is awesome. Now the next step is basically all up to Frank, and we might have to get an electrician in. And that's just gonna be, you know, hooking all this piping up for this, hooking the electrical up, hooking the unit up on top, all that kind of stuff. As far as like, I'll call it the framework, that's all done, and it's not really a two-person job anymore, which is good because I have other jobs that I need to get done. So it's the next day, and that means that today is the final day of the Scranton Farmers Market for the 2024 season. First thing I'm starting off with here this morning is gonna be bagging some potatoes for actually not so much customers, but one of our workers, Christy, that works up there for us. She wants a bag for herself, and so we're gonna get that for her. We're actually not bagging any more potatoes for anything but our home farm market. We only have, as you can see, 1.5 bins of white potatoes and about 3/4 of a bin of red potatoes. And then that is it for our potatoes. Now, after they're gone, we'll obviously keep selling potatoes at our farm market. We'll just have to buy them probably from somewhere local, but we're not gonna buy them until we completely sell out of ours. I never like to drop the first couple of potatoes all the way down in just because I don't wanna bruise them. And they'll also be the last ones you use, so they'll probably rot the quickest if you do bruise them. The nice thing about the potatoes back towards the back here is they were the first ones that we put in here. And we weren't in such a rush to get them into storage because it wasn't like my sister's wedding was going on. The cold weather wasn't really a factor. So like, we just took our time and we really made sure we did a perfect job when putting these in here. And so what that means is that we didn't get near as many bad ones as we were later in the season, like I said, when we were rushing. Sometimes the guys had to leave early and we just wanted to make sure we got them all binned up before they left so we weren't doing it all by ourselves. And so I can basically just close my eyes and pick any potatoes out of here and almost not pick a bad one. There's always bad ones here and there, but not bad at all. Actually, that one has got a weird spot to it. If you're new to the channel, you may be wondering why we keep potatoes in such a dark, like not very happy area. No lights, no windows, and that is because it's kind of like in an underground storage. And the reason for that is so the potatoes don't get green, they kind of stay at a stable temperature, and they last for so much longer. That's basically what you want to replicate when you get these potatoes to your house. You want to put them like down in your basement, somewhere cool, dry, so that way they last for a long time, they don't turn green, they don't rot, they don't sprout, anything like that. I would say anything that's nice in the favor of the orange and a couple big pumpkin chips. Probably the stackers.
too.
That's what I'm calling it a wrap for this video. Definitely stay tuned for the next one. We'll be getting Christmas trees to start making wreaths, swag, stuff like that. I don't know if we'll exactly be making them, but we're gonna definitely be cutting them down and hauling them to the farm market, showing you what kind of trees we use and, you know, the whole process of it. And hopefully everybody has a happy Thanksgiving.